Whoops. Hey everybody, now you can actually hear us. Yeah, we were doing that in Silent Movie.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yep.
Brian's technical errors continue for the night. So
I'm
we'll just blame Brian the rest of the night.
I'm grabbing opposition here.
So our commentary on the first three picks is Stoneforge Mystic versus Oracle. Go ahead and grab this. I'll catch up while you consider the next pack. We had Oracle and Moldiah versus Stoneforge Mystic. I lobbied for Stoneforge Mystic because it's more objectively powerful and you can grab an equipment or whatnot. Upheaval was the second pick because it's super strong and Brian loves it. And Opposition is also one of Brian's favorite cards because it basically can. Some decks just can't beat it, and it can just basically you can just tap all your creatures to lock down your opponent's lands during their upkeep, and basically they're not playing Magic the Gathering and you are. And now, Brian, you can continue with your favorite picks of Cube.
Rafellos. I just love Rafellos. He can be absolutely absurd. I think green is one of my favorite colors to draft in Cube. We should still look at other things we could be hedging into, but I just love Rafellos. Even if you have two forests, like a dude that you pay green, and he taps for 2 mana is a Soul Ring, and that's usually the low end of what you get out of him. And sometimes you tap him for 4 mana, and it's absurd.
Yep. So this will prioritize things like Tropical Island and Breeding Pool for us because they count as forests, and we want to maximize the blue.
Mana dorks get way better with Opposition, because later on when you don't need the mana from them anymore, you can use them to tap down guys. Okay, here I need a consult. What do you think between Wall of Roost and Kozilek, Butcher of Truth?
Big Cozy.
Yep.
So I think Kozilek is one of the worst Eldrazi to get, and I would hedge towards it's if you can get like an Ulamog or a Sundering Titan or some other colorless top end, I would prefer that over the Kozilek. So I would take Walrus.
The one big thing I will say for Big Cozy is that he's the best one to get countered.
Sure.
But yeah, and Wall of Roots I think is just not very replaceable because it stops the aggro deck so well while still ramping you.
Yep. Fastbond's really good with Upheaval.
Fastbond is fantastic with Upheaval. The other thing is Woodfall Primus.
Another good top.
But you really only want 2 finishers.
Yep.
Upheaval I think kind of counts as a finisher already. Fastbond lets us like look for some draws 7s. If we want to just try and go nuts. I'm not really married to this Fastbond, but like this seems pretty strong ramp start.
Well, yeah, and Fastbond could be a card we end up cutting. It's really good with specifically Upheaval. Otherwise, if it's not in your opener, it's not always the greatest. So there's Trop. I think Trop is
Trop Island. Regrowth is nice.
Palinchron.
Yeah. I
would take Trop here.
Yeah, I think Trop is pretty clear. I actually really like Acidic Slime too, but it's just a little bit slow in this cube, I think. Geez. Okay, here's our first kind of not great pack. Sideboard card, Encroaching Grip. Stunted Growth is a good spell that punishes your opponent if you get ahead of them on mana. Or Force Spike is... I don't like Force Spike very much.
I don't like it in this particular deck. I do think it has a place in Holiday Cube specifically. Like if they don't play if they don't sequence right and they go like... If they skip their
What do you think
land
between these two then? And we'll go back to Force Spike.
Stunted Growth is a card I really want to like, but I've never actually like seen it be all that great. So I would hedge with the sideboard card. And
Stunted Growth seems like a good card in an already good deck.
Here's the wheel.
Yeah,
Chromox is not bad with
Chromox if we're trying to go busted. Like if we get to draw 7 or 2, I like Chromox a lot.
Otherwise, what's the pick?
I don't like Mindslaver at all. Goyf is not that great. Pernicious Deed.
Deed's not bad.
Yeah. Why does my computer keep thinking?
Sorry.
Okay.
We'll get through it.
Yeah, do you want to... Can you pull up your virtual machine just in case we have to hot swap?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just nervous. I really love Revoker. I mean, Mystical Tutor could be good because it'd be a second copy of Upheaval, but I think the Revoker just stops cards that you really need to stop.
I like Revoker, and it's pretty good. It's much better than people give it credit for in Holiday Cube when you know they are playing something broken and you can just name it on turn 2. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm cool with this.
Yeah, the Llanowar Elf didn't come back, which that's kind of a pretty big bummer because those you'll usually wheel if somebody's not in green. So hopefully we can just talk them out of being green. I think we're kind of...
Yep, that's fine. Optimistic.
Let's take Hate the Manic Vandal.
It's fine.
Because we're going to want some artifact mana.
Just got ascendancy with the Rafellos.
It seems a little bit tough.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so we had a really strong start. And then we didn't really wheel any of the cards I wanted to wheel, which is kind of a bummer.
So the thing I've found with Holiday Cube is the first couple days, people draft really busted decks and everyone forgets how busted it is, and then everyone starts to get on it, and specifically blue, and blue it gets cut by everybody because everybody wants to play blue.
This is all the blue I need.
We don't need... Correct.
I'd take an Ancestral Recall, but...
Yep. And no one's playing Storm.
This is the one card where playing in a virtual machine sucks because it's hard to hold priority.
Yes.
So,
Regrowth's not bad.
Regrowth isn't bad. So I think this is a pretty good start. We do need a lot of stuff. We either need to go super busted, or we're going to need more mid-range stuff that we're going to just ramp into slightly. Black Lotus and Mox Sapphire, but I'm pretty sure the Lotus is the pick.
I'm also agreeing. Maybe we can wheel that Edric, or there's a lot of stuff in here for us.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Passing the Sapphire is unfortunate, but I think you just take Lotus. We have a Regrowth already.
Yeah, I think we take Lotus. I like. Obviously, they stack these packs, so you get two together a lot most of the time. But
yeah, I think just Lotusing into
anything,
yeah, is so much better than just the one.
And the other thing is we do have the Regrowth, so like you can Upheaval, cast Regrowth on Lotus, and you just get a ton of mana and you get so far ahead.
Yep. Man, if we would have taken that Mox, the Winter Orb is great. I honestly think Dark Relentless goes way too late. I think he's a good finisher. Or not finisher, but a good, something that you can play on turn 1 on the back of a Lotus, and it's really hard to lose. I also see Ancient Tomb.
Yeah.
I don't like Tooth and Nail as much until we have the two creatures, especially if we're looking to win off of Upheaval. So for me, it comes down to Ancient Tomb, Garruk. What do you think?
I like Garruk.
Okay.
Underground. I'll give Underground Sea. I think if we had a fetch, Underground Sea becomes a potential option there too, for a potential Black Splash. We don't have anything.
Black seemed pretty open too. That's the, one of the colors I wanted to.
One of the reasons fetches are better in Cube than the actual duel is because you can do things like that. So
one card that I've seen go really late is Memory Jar. Memory Jar would be pretty sweet in our deck. I know. Eternal Witness
or Mystic Snake.
I think the Mystic Snake might wheel,
or Avacyn's Pilgrim as an extra guy to tap with opposition.
I really like Eternal Witness.
I do like Witness in this deck.
And this is the Exile one though, right?
That's Exile. Yep.
Okay, bummer. Eternal Witness with Upheaval is kind of a lock.
Sure.
I also really like it with Planeswalkers because they put a lot of resources to kill your Planeswalker. You Eternal Witness it back. We can reset the Phyrexian Revoker.
We can turn 1 Black Lotus, cast Eternal Witness, get back Black Lotus.
Whoa. Well, I mean, I would play a 0 mana 2/1.
I don't think it's that good. I'm going with absurd plays.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
I'd rather turn 1 Black Lotus, Garruk.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
I love Big Frosty. Primeval Titan is also good. And then there's also this Verdant Catacombs.
Yeah, I do think we can take a top end card here, though. I agree that if the Titans weren't here, this is where you'd want to take a place. A card like Catacombs.
But I'm pretty sure it's Frost Titan.
I think Frost Titan in this deck is better. We're not ramping to anything else.
I think if we already had a Avenger and we thought that Tooth and Nail was going to come back, I would take the Primeval Titan.
If you can Upheaval and get down Frosty and just lock down their first play, they're just dead.
Yep.
So, and it's good on its own.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I really like Tanglewire. I also like Venser.
All right.
I also like Whisperwood Elemental. What are you thinking?
So why do you like Do you like Tanglewire in this style deck?
Oh yeah.
How come?
Because you play a ramp card and then you just leave the ramp. Having 2 mana. Yeah.
you've played this style deck more than me, so I'm going to defer this one.
Well, what would you take if not Tangleware? I'm not sold on Tangleware.
I would take Venser, I think.
I like Venser a lot, too. I'd rather take a card that we can both be happy with.
Whisperwood, I like, but I think we can get another top end card that's a little better. Like, I don't know how good it is in Holiday Cube. I guess on like turn 2 with Lotus, it's pretty good.
Yeah, well, anything with...
But anything is, so...
Yeah. Venser is I guess, opposition, and what the Elemental is pretty sweet.
I do think we want, if we see Mana Dorks at this point, we really need to prioritize those. Deathrite Shaman is not good, I guess. If we had more fetches, I would say Deathrite Shaman. Treasure Cruise?
I'd say Treasure Cruise or Hinterland Harbor. I kind of feel like... I think the... Because we don't... I mean,
we're not putting a ton of stuff in the graveyard.
We're not putting a ton of stuff in the graveyard, and we have 2 things that get back cards from the graveyard.
Okay.
This deck needs some... Moloku with opposition is stupid.
Yep.
Wall of Blossom is pretty good too.
Sylvan
Library. We don't have if we had 1 or 2 fetches, I'd be all over the Sylvan Library. But so without shuffle effects, it's kind of a little bit less great. What do you think?
It seems like if we take Moloku here, then I think we can really prioritize our lower end.
I think that she's one of the better things to have when you already have opposition.
Yep.
I love Troll Aesthetic and Primal Command both.
I'll defer to you again. Why do you like Troll Aesthetic in this deck?
It just wrecks all of the Planeswalker control decks. Like they just can't do anything to it.
I'll defer to you on the pick. I like both of them as well, so I'll let you make the pick.
I think that the Troll Aesthetic. I think that this is the more powerful card, but I think our curve is kind of getting a little bit.
We are pretty top end. Yep.
Turn 1 Troll Aesthetic is Spymaster. I think is pretty.
Right? Yep.
Clear here. I mean, Soar is good.
Soar.
Yeah,
but Soar can be killed by so many things.
We only have 8 creatures right now, but
sorry. Like I said, we want to try to prioritize. Yep. We got a couple of Mana Dorks from our right, so maybe we'll get a couple.
And we also have this Garruk Relentless is a creature,
yeah.
And Moloku with Edric is stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, one of our 9 creatures though can't attack.
It's true. Jace Wield.
I actually kind of am considering Winter Orb.
I double blue on Jace. I don't like at 3.
Yeah.
We're really blue on the top end, so I don't think Jace is the right fit here.
Winter Orb we wouldn't be playing yet, but if we pick up another Mana Dork or 2 and then a Rishadan Port, it's a hard lock.
Yeah.
Okay. Or soft lock, I guess. Mystic Snake came back. I don't like Mystic Snake. Everybody loves it though, so let's try playing it. And I want to.
I mean, we're the colors that would play it, and it's okay. I'm not saying it's kind of cool to hold up like Venser and Mystic Snake.
Sure,
and get them in the same. It's a good utility value creature.
I think I just
plenty of things to counter in this format.
I don't value counter spells enough. I think. So let's give Mystic Snake a try. So I think right now Fastbond's not making it. We don't have enough card draw.
Yeah, I agree.
If we get like a Time Twister,
like I said, it's really kind of your best case scenario is to tap a bunch of mana, upheaval, re-Fastbond, and then you get all your lands in play. But that's, what are the odds?
I'm actually not even sure if we can run opposition yet.
Responding to chat here. Yes, Noble Hierarch or Birds would be great. Force is in the cube, but we haven't seen it yet. And Blue has been kind of... I mean, as I made my comment earlier, like, Holiday Cube, it starts with really busted decks, and then everyone kind of gets more fair as the cube goes on because everyone drafts the busted stuff early.
Yeah.
So, like, Blue just...
Yeah.
I feel like everybody ends up with, like, 5 blue cards they want to play. Yeah, I mean, grab the Whisperwood, right?
Yeah, because I don't think Wheel of Fortune is...
No Winds in Storm.
What? Yeah.
Poor Storm.
Well, that's fine, because some of the blue Storm cards would actually make our deck a lot better. And I did see a Frantic Search that didn't wheel in the first pack, out of the first pack, so I thought somebody would be in Storm.
Yeah, but Frantic Search is okay on its own. It's not great, but it's okay.
Yeah, I guess. If you're it could also mean somebody reanimated. But we saw a pretty late animate dead there.
Yeah.
Oh, we got somebody who dropped.
Oh.
The guy who's passing to us dropped. The guy in between Phil and us.
Interesting. He must have, well, he disconnected. That's not a drop, right? That just means they're offline, right?
They're offline,
yeah.
yeah.
So they must have disconnected. So now we're going to take a long time for these picks.
Yep. And it's also going to take all of the...
So we've got time to come.
Yep.
So while we're waiting for picks here, one of the things we're going to do at the end of the night is Brian and I both played in the Magic Origins pre-release, and I put my pool into a site called deckbox.org. And I'm going to go through that and show you the cards that I opened, a few different potential deck builds, and go through what I ended up playing and how it did. So I think it was I wouldn't do it if it was an easy pool, but it was actually probably the hardest pool I've ever seen in sealed, because basically I had one color that had enough cards to play and then 3 others that could have filled it out, and they all had pluses and minuses. So I think it's a really cool pool to go over, and hopefully generate some discussion from other people as well. So hopefully we get to pack 3. Hopefully this guy comes back online and we can get to pack 3 and this speeds up a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, things that we're looking for are like Birds of Paradise, Noble Hierarch would be good.
Yeah, Mana Dorks are really good for us right now.
I'd take a Mox Emerald.
I mean, we're going for... so we'll say anything powerful, like any of the Mox, Soul Ring, etc. In terms of practical cards to get, I think if we got 2 1-drop Mana Dorks this go-around, we'd be really happy.
Yep.
I don't know, what else do you think?
Awakening Zone?
You like... Yeah, Awakening Zone is very good with opposition.
And
I think any random card draw would be good for us, too.
Sure.
Like, I'm not sure, compulsive research or something along those lines where we're just drawing cards.
Ancestral
we want to draw
Recall?
into... Well, yeah, Ancestral, yeah. I'm giving... Again, I talk about practical, it's like, if Ancestral Recall gets open, it's got to be us, so...
Yeah.
I've actually never played with Black Lotus in Cube.
So
this will be
it's
interesting.
a treat.
I bet. I've played Holiday Cube a bit, but I've never actually opened it. And I've played against it in... Vintage Masters. I played against it once, which was a dumb card.
Yeah.
I think it was opened with Black Lotus. It was a... I like the Vintage Masters format enough, but it had some really terrible games.
I was not a huge fan of it just because, like, in Holiday Cube... Okay.
Alright, so let's see what we open here in pack 3. The last Search for Tomorrow is the bottom card.
Yep. So... I hope this Nature's Claim wheels. I feel a lot safer when I have a Nature's Claim in the sideboard.
Okay.
However, that's definitely not what we're picking here. I see Tameo, Solemn, but we're kind of high on 4 drops.
We could take a Signet, Golgari Signet.
We could take a Golgari Signet.
This is also a spot where you'd look to find like a fetch or something. Now, obviously, there's none in here, but this is, as I draft Cube, those are the things I like to look for. Is you open a pack, you're not seeing anything that just stands out as like a stellar card, and that's where you look to maybe take your mana fixing, but that didn't happen.
Signet. I mean, Maze of Ith is also a pretty good card.
Yep.
It's better in Planeswalker Control, which we certainly are not.
Castigar's somewhat interesting too.
Yeah.
Of a black splash.
We only have
pay the 4 mana.
Yeah. I think I kind of like Tameo, actually.
Okay.
I think we need another finisher.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to play that Whisperwood.
Yeah.
I said I don't know. I'm not saying cut it. I'm just saying I don't know if we're going to play it. Yeah, we saw the search for chat. We saw the search for tomorrow. Ooh, what happened?
Search my wheel. Ooh,
search my wheel.
Or Cobra or Simic Signet. This is a good pack for us.
We don't have any fetches to really abuse the Cobra. I mean, it's not bad without fetches, but
I think you just take a Jitte.
How many creatures? We have 11. One of them is a wall.
Yep.
It beats all creature decks.
It does beat all creature decks. One of them's a troll aesthetic.
And one of them's a troll aesthetic.
I think we take the Jitte here and pick up creatures.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go through Jitte if we actually play it. It's a pretty silly card.
It's a super silly card.
I think one of my favorite holiday cubes ever. I had turn one Porcelain Legionnaire off of Mox. Turn 2 Stormblood Berserker Isamaru. Turn 3 play equip Jitte.
Wow.
So I was playing like a Boros aggro deck, and I think every game was over in less than 10 minutes, and that was one of the fastest ones I had. The guy I put the Jitte on my first striker, and he blocked, so I got the counters, killed one. It was gross. Anyways.
So there's visions, but that's really only good if it's in your opener.
Yep. Delta.
There's polluted Delta, which gets us. It lets us splash black if it happens, and we have Tropical Island.
And so it gets Island or Trop.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably the more responsible and therefore correct pick. We do have some kind of intense mana.
I like Delta here. I don't think Ancestral. It's okay, but in this format, like waiting for, even on turn 1, waiting 4 turns to draw cards sometimes is really too slow. It's okay, but I like Delta here. I think we're doing stuff with our mana well enough.
I think we really need some mana dorks though. I mean, we do have creatures that generate a bunch of other creatures.
I suppose.
So like,
right, Jitte does go up in value because of that. If we end up playing everything there, and Garrick generates creatures too. In fact, he basically on turn 1, that's what he does, unless.
A turn 1 Garrick would.
Unless you can kill.
It's really hard to beat.
Yeah. Fintorno. Oh, Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah. I think we have to take the elves here.
I agree. I think we need the
I also see the Song of the Dryad and moan a little bit about missing that.
Man, it sucks that Cradle also in the same pack. So, but I actually agree with you here that we need the 1-drop here.
Yeah. We are really light on removal, and this is one of the best options we would have gotten, but I think that...
It might wheel if no one else is.
There's also Trinket Mage, which gets us Black Lotus.
Yeah. But I think Elves is the pick here. It's got everything we want to do. It works with Edric. It works with
and I don't think we're necessarily playing with Chrome Mox, and so I'd want another target.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's the unfun but right pick. How are we so low on playables?
We're not that low. Are we that low?
Well,
we have 22 right now.
Yeah, but
We've got 10 cards to go in this pack.
Okay, but there's some things that I think are pretty high on the chopping block.
I agree. We'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not concerned. It just I felt like it started off.
We only have 9 cards in the board. That seems about right.
Okay. So there's Chalice, which could get us to be able to play Upheaval again, or this Counterspell.
Counterspell is going to be tough for us to play on 2.
Yeah.
So realistically, we're looking at Counterspell as like a 4-drop or higher.
Yep.
I like Chalice here.
I do too.
I agree, since you've got it highlighted. But let's go ahead and agree with you. I do think it fits the ramp strategy. Works well with Moloku, works well with Upheaval. Ramps us into Tameo, Whisperwood Elemental. Seems...
Yep. Black Lotus with a land is a free Soul Ring.
That's interesting. If you had Chalice, land,
I think
Lotus,
Soul Ring is better than Lotus.
Oh, I agree. But if you had Chalice, Lotus, land in your opener, would you sack Lotus to make a Chalice on 2?
It depends on what else is in my hand.
Fair enough.
Like if I had 2 4s, I probably would do that. If I had 1 5, I probably
good
would.
point, chat. That the Chalice makes Winter Ore better too.
Yeah. No, I really like. I still. Okay.
Ooh, I see one of your pet cards in here.
Wolfear Silverheart is one of my pet cards. Actually, Progenitus is another one of my pet cards, but you need the natural order
for it.
I also see a Marshfly.
Marshfly doesn't do much for us. Yep.
Impulse could let us filter. Impulse with 2 regrowth effects is
How good
nice,
is
but...
Augur? 1... Nope. Okay, never mind. Do you like Silverheart better than Whisperwood, or would you play them both? I think it's... I guess the other pick would be Impulse. Impulse or Silverheart? Which one?
Impulse and Silverheart are the 2 that I'm really considering.
I'll yield the floor to you for the final 10 seconds.
Okay, I really feel like people underrate Silverheart. I think we need another creature. Let's do this, because I think our deck is needs some filtering to it, and this can probably find us a creature.
I actually 100% agree with your reasoning at the end. So
Manowar or Indrik Stop there for us. See, now there's still a Reanimate floating around, so there goes that theory. I think Manowar is actually pretty good for us.
I 100% agree.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the pick.
I don't know, there's cards that I love, so I just know that other people don't love them as much as I do, so I feel guilty whenever I'm like I feel like I'm doing something
this
wrong.
card against aggressive decks is exactly what we want. If we play against a Reanimator or like a Show and Tell type deck, like we can bounce almost. I mean, beyond Shroud creatures or protection creatures, we can get rid of that crap.
It taps things down with opposition.
Thanks, chat. So this is one of his favorite decks. So, you said this is one of your favorite decks drafted. If I knowing Brian as well as I do, this is what Brian tries to do in every single draft.
If
this is Brian.deck.
If we had a Karn, and maybe one or two more mana dorks, and a draw 7, those are the only signature cards that are missing. What?
How good is Snapcaster?
Regrowth of an Exile, right?
No.
Yep. Regrowth, Impulse.
Opposition. So we only have 2 targets for it.
It doesn't do opposition.
Upheaval. No, that's what I'm saying.
Upheaval is also funny because you keep doing it back. Do you think? But I don't think we can run Ulamog.
Without channel, I wouldn't run Ulamog. So sure, grab it.
Let's just grab it.
Or the Steam Vents, but we're not playing red.
I'm really sad to see Yogg-Will here when we're sitting with Black Bonus. But
what are you gonna do?
I don't think we can splash black. I kind of like the Nature's Claim for the sideboard.
Okay.
Maze of Ith is also, I think, a pretty strong contender.
I feel like our aggro game is okay. We have enough small dudes that can block.
Swords, Ryan.
Oh yes, your hated swords. I forgot. I should take those into. You always have to take those into account. So. All right, I'm good. Now we have 2 anti-sword cards. We did take the Mystic, so no one can at least go fetch.
So we need 4 or 5 more, and I'll be happy. And we have the Jitte, which is the best way to remove the Jitte is by putting it in your deck.
Yeah. So if we're on the cutting block here, we can.
Yeah, so I think.
Cut the
wow!
Oh yeah, we like
Lotus
the
Cobra
here.
is fantastic.
Else?
Although we could kill another sword, Ryan.
Yeah.
No, Lotus Cobra is.
Do we want a Sundering Titan? I don't think we do. Right?
I don't think we do.
Okay, I'm good with Cobra. Then we have 1 fetch now. Which we didn't, so
yeah,
I'm on board.
And I honestly, I think if we play Cobra and it gets us a 4 on turn 3 and then picks up, either starts oppositioning people or Jittes, we are going to be ecstatic, or draws us a card off of Edric. Yeah, this is.
I think we can run 16 lands here too, can't we?
Yeah, because I don't think we're getting that high.
Anything we want to hate here?
I hate Student of Warfare. Student of Warfare is actually a big problem for us because we don't beat a 3/3 first striker.
We just get in the way for a few turns.
Yeah, we have Manowar and
Venser.
Yeah, to reset it.
I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah,
I hate the card you want to.
I don't think anybody's in Reanimator.
Nobody's in Living Death. They would have taken.
I don't know that Narset's all that great, to be honest.
No, I think Narset's more of a constructed card. I think she's pretty hard to abuse. In oh yes! Oh dear
oh no! Oh no!
We have 13 seconds. Do we want a ton of mana, or do we want to have a better chance to get?
I think the
Lotus?
Trinket Mage is the pick.
You
here.
think so? I'm going to leave it up to you, man. I think it's close.
This lets us run opposition.
Go with your gut.
I don't think we.
Wow, those are 2 amazing wheels.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, Noble. Nobody seems to be right though. I wonder, is Olivia actually better for us because she can ping all them elves?
Yeah, but then they'd have to be red and black. But
I know.
Yeah, I think actually that's probably the correct pick because we have actually a lot of ways that we can get in front of the Noble. And then
we have
them
very
if we
few
don't.
humans.
So the Gaia's Cradle Trinket Mage pick that.
And you got your silver head.
I love this guy.
Or do we hate the?
No.
All right. Never mind.
So I think Regrowth can go away.
Get rid of Fast Bond. Do that.
Yep.
We can start there. Start with the Fast Bond.
Start with Fast Bond. So my thought on the Trinket Mage verse, that was probably one of the harder picks for me.
Yeah. It just sucks we only had 10 seconds to talk
about
it.
But I think that now that we have Lotus and an Everflowing Chalice, that's almost always going to hit, and that can, and whereas the the Gaia's Cradle could be a blank until 2 or 3.
Sure.
And then, but we don't particularly need to go from 2 or 3 to 5.
I think either pick is defensible. I think if we had an Eldrazi or a Sundering Titan or a Woodfall Primus, I would hedge. I would favor the Cradle.
Absolutely.
As it is, it's very good and great with Upheaval. But Trinket Mage on 3 into Lotus or Chalice into Frost. I think that's a little more response stable of a play. Anyways, I think chat says possibly, Cradle might have been better, but I actually think it's really close.
I do too. I think also just another creature is pretty important with opposition and a Jitte.
Yep. Okay, so we have 28, and we need to cut 4. I think we can. I think with all the 1 and 2 drop mana guys, we are pretty safe at 16.
So I'm just pulling out cards that I am considering going on.
I don't think I'd cut Orb.
No?
I think Orb is too good with Elves, Raphaelos.
The problem is we have 1, 2, 3, 4 things that untap, and remember that this is power cubed, so people are going to have their signets and whatnot.
Okay.
I would think that this is a card that we should definitely sideboard in once we know that it's safe to do so.
Okay, actually, I actually like your reasoning there. With this specific cube, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta cut 2 then.
I think that one of these 2 should get axed, or actually one of these 3 should be axed.
My personal choice would
I also don't know if we can run Snapcaster.
Oh yeah, Snapcaster is probably a really good choice to cut.
Yeah.
We have Regrowth, Impulse,
Upheaval. Impulse.
We have 3 targets for it. I think it's an easy cut then.
Yeah.
Good call.
Hooray! It's like I've built.
I like Whisperwood.
I've built this exact deck a million times before.
I like Whisperwood if we end up playing against a Wrath deck, but I think I would favor Silverheart or Tameo over it in the starting lineup.
I wish that we had more flyers for Silverheart.
You tell me about Silverheart. I mean, what do you? I know you like.
So
I know. Yeah. It's in my cube. I really like it.
Mm-hmm. So what I think I like about it is that it is 4 points of hasty damage.
That's right.
That then sticks around and makes every a Fin-Horned Elf becomes a must answer threat. It is I also think that we have Venser and we used to have a Snapcaster, flashing those in or Moloku tokens
So yeah,
I think that I think it's actually a pretty reliable win condition.
So the other thing if we're looking at Silverheart versus Whisperwood, it's drawing one versus the other at different times is actually there are situations in this deck where if we have opposition in hand and get Whisperwood on turn 4 and then opposition turn 5, Whisperwood's better in that situation. Yep. But if we're trying to push for damage post upheaval or something, then it's Silverheart. So I think there's merits for both of them in the deck and what we're trying to do. So I'm gonna let you make the call.
Can we defend Tameo?
Why? I mean, we've got enough dudes. Okay. We've got opposition.
Sure.
Moloku can make things to get in the way. We can tap down one thing with her.
I keep looking and hoping there's an easy cut in here.
I don't think there's an easy cut, but I mean, we can definitely. I think it's Whisperwood or Wolfear.
Yeah.
And essentially, what we're trying to Whisperwood doesn't work great with upheaval. All those just come back to our hand, I guess. Unless you manifest a Lotus.
Well, because it kind of having an upheaval that then you're choosing between a ton of really good cards versus an upheaval.
It's also a must answer on its own.
Yeah,
because it's just going to generate value the rest of the game.
Yeah, and
we have 2 ways to bounce tokens.
Do it.
So if we manifest an opposition, we can Mana War or
that's a good point. Let's try it. I do think that Wolfear Silverheart is criminally underrated in Cube, but maybe not so much in this powered Cube. And again, I like to have a flyer or 2.
Fair enough.
That's when it really shines. Or having Troll aesthetic and Thrun
sure.
That's the kind of things I want to be doing with the Wolfear Silverheart. Those are the kind of cards that I prioritize a lot, but we just didn't see them. So this is good with our.
I think so. I mean, if you want to override me and go 17 lands, but we've got between Lotus, Chalice, a 1-drop, and then 3 2-drops that generate mana. I think 16 is the right number here.
And I think so too, because we can wait to get beyond 4.
Right. We get to 4. I feel like that's still enough. I feel like that's a lot of mana. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
We probably want to be pretty close on the split. We need green earlier, blue later, but a lot of our blue is double blue.
But we do have Raphaelos.
So we're gonna do we've got We have 3 green sources already.
One of which isn't a forest.
So we could do like 7. We did 7 forest, 6 island, or do you want to do 8 forest, 5 island?
I think 7-6 should be okay.
Okay.
Because
is that what they recommend? Oh, they recommend the opposite. I like 7 forest. We need the green first.
Yep. Yeah.
So that gives us, with harbor, delta, and island, trop, 10 green sources and 9 blue sources.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that.
Technically.
Yeah, cause, and again, we don't need to go crazy on the forest because, you know, if Rafellos makes us 2 mana, I think
that's good.
We're pretty happy with him. Sure. But yeah, let's remember this Winter Orb. Like I think we have some pretty good sideboard options. We absolutely do.
We do have some good sideboard options. I even think the Silverheart could come in against the right deck.
Yep, I think so too. Decks with their well, I guess we'd probably want the Silverheart against.
I think mid-rangey.
Yeah, mid-rangey and mid-rangey, but not too super creature heavy because you know this guy doesn't have any evasion by himself, and we don't have evasive guys to get that damage through. So if they can clog the board, Silverheart looks pretty terrible.
Right.
I also really like Silverheart in a more mana dork heavy because like I like playing him on turn like 3 or 4 and then hitting them with a 5/5 elf, like
sure,
which isn't that unreasonable, and it's like it just makes those planeswalker decks so sad.
So if you were making the ideal version of this deck, what would you have? Like I really want
one or
2 more cards.
Ideal version of this,
obviously saying things like Mock Staff.
But so not without crazy cards. I would love to have
Tradewind Rider.
Tradewind Rider's not in the cube.
Oh, it's not. They pulled it from Holiday.
They did pull it from Holiday, and it makes me so sad. People just don't respect that card enough.
Maybe they do. Maybe R&D's like, we're going to protect you from yourselves.
Yeah. It would have an Awakening Zone for sure.
Okay.
It would have that enchantment card that turns it into a forest because
Song of the Dryads,
and probably a Beast Within, which we passed both of those cards.
Yep, and they didn't come back, so there's definitely as you can imagine, there's probably another green draft at the table.
And then I really like having, and this is a super powerful card that goes way too late all the time. A Natural Order, and 1 green finisher.
Brian's a big advocate for Natural Order, and I would agree. I see it go really late, even in regular cube, and even having a couple mana dorks, like Natural Ordering on turn 4 for Progenitus or Woodfall Primus is so good.
I mean, it's not quite the it's definitely not the like key Tinker or key Time Vault combo, but like that card can get just out of control starts.
Yep.
And I really value, and the thing is even if you don't get it like right away, like when you're turning one of your dorks into a legitimate threat in the late game is huge. Like,
no, I completely agree. I'm assuming that guy went disconnected, and that's why we're waiting 10 minutes here. So hopefully we don't get paired up with him in round 1, so we can.
So cards I don't typically play in this deck are Mystic Snake.
Whisperwood's probably new though. If you even
I'm just saying that. So these are cards that I'm not sure on. I like to have like one card draw spell. Impulse is probably not the ideal, but it's still pretty good. But yeah, like Wall of Roots is such a player. Oh, what did I just do?
No, it's fine. We submitted already.
Okay.
Just you can double click up on top.
What did I do?
It's up on the sideboard. You just double clicked on it.
What did I send up there?
Wall of Roots.
Oh, there it is.
But it should go back to our old deck.
Yep.
All right, here we are for round 1.